Oh, John, we've seen this before in a number of different cases, but what happens when someone pulls a physical drive from a server in a vSAN cluster?
So when John pulls a device in the data center, he always pulls the correct device, which was the device that had died and he was meaning to replace. John has never pulled a fully functioning device out and then gotten yelled at by the remote operations team and shoved it back in quickly. So a quick thing to note is if you are testing failures on vSAN, just pulling a device is not going to show you what happens when a device dies. We detect a pulled device as a APD. The device has just gone missing. We're not seeing SCSI sense codes. It has gone detached. And so this gives you actually the opportunity to correct your mistake and shove it back in quickly. But the other thing also to note here is that if you did want to simulate a device failure, there actually is, it's buried within the POC guide. There is a Python script I think you can run that will simulate an actual device failure. So if you're doing your POC testing, you want to test failures, I would test that as a separate failure mode than just say pulling a device or a host going offline. In regards to that. And this is, one thing I always like to say is that vSAN unfortunately is smarter than I am, and it knows that this device didn't actually die, and will respond differently based on that reaction.
Okay, so it sounds like we have the intelligence there. Ideally, you want to pull or remove the right storage device, but sometimes you do the wrong one. But maybe the big moral of the story is just don't start randomly pulling multiple storage devices, right?
Yeah, don't start pulling multiple. And generally by the time you make it to the data center, vSAN's already repaired the data, so in theory it should be capacity willing, ready for another failure. But do remember, you can turn on drive indicator lights, get people to blink drives. I think the most egregious stuff I've ever seen is when people pull drives from the wrong host on the rack. It's like, okay, we can light up, log into that, actually within the vSAN UI, you can light up drive lights. We have that capability with some of our partners, but also, don't be afraid of someone logging to the out of band, and at least make sure you light up the right host so you know where you're going.